Hello, and welcome to a new series, this time focused on the moon. Please subscribe to the channel, share this video and any within the series with your friends and loved ones. Comment beneath, like the video, and turn on the notification bell so you can hear when I release new things. Please send me an email if you would like to have a personal reading of your birth chart. This is my great passion and I love doing it, so thank you so much for tuning in. It brings me so much joy to share this amazing art science with you during this new Aquarian age that we're in. The moon is at home in Cancer and at home in the 4th house, so these are themes of family, mother, home, the heart, emotions. So I hope you enjoy this exploration. Hello Gemini moon. What a controversial placement. What a fun placement. And what a different way of experiencing emotions to most. There's a real tendency to intellectualize the emotions here. And this doesn't come from a real suppression of the emotions. There's quite just a natural detachment from them. You just don't feel them so much. They're not such a heavy influence. The mind is the most powerful thing in all of this, and as a result there can be a lot of manipulation tendency, manipulation of the emotions, a lot of crying wolf, and the truth is that you're not necessarily going to be a person who has a extraordinarily rich and deep emotional experience. It's more canapes. It's more like savouring everything, like a little bit of that, a little bit of this, like a taste of everything, a flavour. This is an empathic place, it really is. And for others it can be so fun to be around. It can be really joyful, it can be the party starter, and it can be a very, very fun person to observe. Just playing with the energy and playing with the emotion, but there can also be a playing with people and a playing with the emotions of others and getting kicks out of that. And there has to be an acknowledgement of hurt, an acknowledgement of responsibility for your power as someone who in many ways can transcend emotion, and then how you then affect those around you. This is very highly dependent on what is happening in the rest of your chart. What is your sun? Do you have a lot of water going on? And therefore this is creating some sort of bubbles. The thing with emotion is it is energy in motion, so it can help shift a lot of things. When you have an air sign, mutable air sign like Gemini, interacting with the moon, it can have the ability to really be able to help another. This is good in relationship as well. Helping another see themselves, being that mirror, reflecting and being clever with what you reflect to a person, to be able to show them their own emotional state, and deeper than that, their own true feelings about something. You know, being the devil's advocate, saying the thing that triggers someone, but saying it with the intention to give the best results for everyone involved, not just to play with people. There's an issue always with Gemini about boredom and needing to do anything rather than be bored, and that can also result in playing with people's feelings. And children with this placement can be quite cutting, not realizing other people don't have quite, it's not even thick skin, it's just almost skinless. It's just things can just move through you in a way that where it doesn't have to hold any meaning. Many times with a Gemini moon they will express a lot of grudges and a lot of grievances, but the deeper feeling is not there really. You know, there's a lightness to it. It's there in the mind, there's stories, there's lots of structures, but in terms of the genuine feeling, it's very hard to read. These are also people who find it difficult to know exactly how they feel. It can be so useful to journal and to write down, and then to look at your own stories and laugh. It can be really good for a writer, a really good placement for a writer who wants to be able to sample and savor different people and their different stories and their different identities, and then put that down on paper without getting lost for days and days and days in the emotion. You know, it's being able to get the essence of something and then put that across. And this is actually a very good placement for a counsellor in that respect. It's someone who can be that reflection that somebody else needs. And as this is one of the beginning signs, this is someone also who's very happy to have things that look good and have a good aspect to them, a good appearance, a good colour scheme, something pleasing to the eye, something pleasing to the ear, something, good one, you know, good humour and wittiness, witticisms. And that gives you that satisfaction feeling. The emotions are never of extremely deep, potent, ripping through the soul. The emotions naturally that this placement feels are much more of a titter, much more of a, you know, up in the chest sort of light-heartedness. Very light-hearted, not heavy-hearted. This is doing a crossword, and I'm making this sound quite lame, but this is, you know, doing a Sudoku, doing something electronic, something with design, something that gives you that satisfaction, where you've used your mind in a way which has then generated something which has a conclusion. Because with the mutable air, it can be kind of frustrating that everything goes off in every different direction. It's nice to have a project and to follow it through to its end and feel that satisfaction. And it really depends which sort of evolutionary stage you're going through as to how seriously you take yourself. Because if you take yourself too seriously with this placement, then you're going to come to a frustrated point that your emotions are not more strong and overpowering as you may imagine that you may want yourself to be. But to instead be a shapeshifter and be able to feel what you need to feel and then release it. And in terms of working with the mother energy, which is what the moon is, look at your relationship with your mother, look at her moon sign and see how you learn to be emotional from her. Because this is the mirror. Yes, you're very good as a counsellor, very good to help somebody else. But if you are also, say with a Cancer sun or something much more wrapped up in yourself and in a sort of drama state, then this Gemini moon will just be the moon that it's observed most closely. So many times it's quite difficult to quantify this Gemini energy because it's mutable, it's reflective air, you know, it's going to pick up on what it's seen. So check the moons, the emotional state of your primary caregivers in the beginning of your life, and who did you admire, who did you imitate, who did you wish you were, whose makeup did you put on, and whose clothes would you like to dress up in. And because likely you tried on many different facades. I mean, everyone has a facade, but Gemini particularly loves to wear a mask and to see how that feels. And I don't know how I am about that. And just realize you still have that potential to let go now. If you feel any kind of density or accumulation heavy inside, like with the Aries moon, there's a potential to be able to just let this stuff go. There's also a potential to superficialize everything and to think it's to potentially believe your own mask and believe there's nothing more going on under the surface when there is. But generally, even after you go below that mask, you can then clear out what is not yours and was never yours. And then you're just you're like a feather, you're light as a feather. You're just emotionally easy and breezy. And that's a really beautiful thing to be around, very playful. Yeah. Yeah, it feels good. Mm.